The UN is predicting 50 million people are having a food shortage or a food crises, even close to famines, all across the globe. Here at home, our grocery stores are not getting any cheaper. We've seen more shortage, but now we're seeing more innovation. Is that innovation bad or good? Now let's jump into a great video today. We're gonna be talking about food shortage and how it impacts you, and also some of the innovations to hopefully either make it better or could make it worse. Let's jump into this video today. It's gonna be a good one and it starts right now.
Can't believe I live in your thoughts. I think about you all the time, morning, evening.
Hey guys, welcome to the Max. You hear the farm is going crazy. We just got done with chores, so the cows, the pigs, the chickens, everybody's excited. It's a beautiful day here. We've had a lot of rain lately, so when we get to see a beautiful day like this, all the animals are just more alive, and it's just fun. Even the sheep were out this morning, and they never get out. Hey, if you're new to the channel, go down here, press subscribe, ring the bell, give us a thumbs up, comment. That helps us stay in the algorithm, and hopefully we can find relevance and trying to teach wisdom and common sense approach to sustainability, prepping, and homesteading across YouTube. So help us out by giving us a thumbs up. If you're new to the channel, of course, please subscribe. Also, if you want to see a lot of these animals and see how we grow gardens, we have another channel called The Max Life. Check it out. It's a behind the scenes footage and about our farm. So if you want to see more of the Max and the farm, our children, my beautiful wife, check out the Max Life channel. It's an amazing channel. We're growing it, and hopefully you'll see a lot more of what we're doing day in and day out. Now let's jump into the video. Food shortage. We've talked about this for years. You hear about it and people are like, oh, it's not gonna happen. It's already happening. What are we trying to do with those crises and those shortages, and where are those at, and what are we trying to do situationally to make that better? So let's jump into this news. A few news stories right here. It says, crop and food supply woes complicate the central bank's inflation issues worldwide, but also here in America. Inflation and supply chains challenge affecting food pantries, also animal shelters, and also homeless shelters. West Africa faces acute food shortages and thousands are near famine, the UN predicts. Over 48 million people in third world countries are not able to provide food. It's going to be a leaner season, the UN is predicting. Sudan, because of the war, because of all the issues they're having, the turmoil there, food and medicine is not able to get to them. And also because it's so war torn, a lot of those areas that were growing are not able to grow again. It reminds you of the kind of the Russia-Ukraine situation. Even North Korea is holding a rare meeting on food and farming shortages. The outskirts of Nairobi, Kenya, even over to Nepal next to China, food shortages. So we hear about all of those shortages. And yes, a lot of those are across the world in third world countries. A lot of those issues are happening in war-torn areas. What's amazing, instead of us trying to help those situations and provide aid, and I'm not talking about military aid, I'm talking about food aid, ways to mitigate issues, maybe build treaties, help be the US that we once were. I think we're not giving as much as we're taking. So we take advantage of all these situations and all these little spats and wars. And really, if we just learn to stay out of the war part and just say, hey, we're here for the humanitarian part, we're here for the food part, I think we could be more impactful and be the US that we once were. So we see issues all across dealing with famine, depressions, food shortages. What's causing those food shortages? Well, it's the amount of people that now live in the cities that are not growing. It's the fact that there's not enough people farming the lands anymore. We're moving to cities as the world populace grows. We're tending to move in areas that are not very innovative when it comes to food sustainability. We preach food sustainability all the time. The sun is really bad, but you can see this is just one of the gardens. There's corn growing, there's soybeans growing, there's potatoes growing. You hear the chicken that never shuts up. We're growing food. Our goal is to grow food for our family. But even in the rural south of Mississippi, in a very country area, it's very odd to grow as much food as we try to grow. And we're just trying to be sustainable for just our family. So we wonder why food shortages are happening more and more. Well, it's because people are not growing nearly what they should be growing. Now that means innovations are coming. So let's jump into the innovations that there's some good ones, but there could be some bad ones. Now we know it's across the world, but it also came out in Kansas that our red winter wheat will be down this year. Our harvest, even in America, for most foods are down this year. The commodities, even in America, will be down. Now for innovation, and for the common American says, you know what, I got to do something about that. A study that came out in the news yesterday, it says the food shortages see surge in home growing and seeing more suppliers of seeds and garden implements being utilized. So that is encouraging. It's encouraging to see people saying, you know what, I may need to take advantage of this. For instance, just today, we have a homeschool and a homestead tour here at our farm. About 15 to 20 families are wanting to learn to be more self-sustainable and more sufficient for their families. So they're gonna come tour the farm. They're gonna see chickens, they're gonna see pigs, they're gonna see that stupid rooster that won't shut up. They're gonna see our sheep, they're gonna see our cattle, they're gonna see our beef cattle and dairy cattle. They're gonna see how we're growing our gardens, how we look at growing animals even in forests like this. They're gonna see how we innovate to grow food. Tomorrow, so today we have the tour. Tomorrow, we actually are doing a chicken workshop, a butchering, processing workshop. And there's about 10 people coming to that too. So it's encouraging to see more people are saying, you know, I need to learn this. I need to do these. We did a workshop dealing with pork just a few months ago, and there was about 7 or 8 people there. So more and more and more people are realizing tough times make for more innovation, make for harder workers. We almost become primitive, and I say that in a good way, that we say, you know what, we can't just live in the city. We can't always go get our morning coffee or our morning latte. Sometimes we may have to put the work in. Sometimes we start our day off in the gardens, maybe fishing, maybe working animals. It may be a little bit more hard work, but hard work makes for sustainability, makes for good stewardship, and makes us be more independent and be more sufficient, which will make for a better populace, because we will be humbled. We will understand it's hard to grow food, but we'll take better care of it too. Another innovation that I think is really cool is you're seeing a maneuvering the markets towards dehydration and freeze drying. Now this is a very good thing, but a very troubling thing at the same time. Now what do I mean by that? It's very encouraging because people like me who love dehydration, who loves freeze drying, Misty freeze dries just about anything and everything that we can that we're not already putting up in some other way. It's allowing that food to last longer, so then we are putting stockpiles up. Freeze drying and dehydrating is a way to stockpile food. This is not just, oh, I'm gonna dehydrate or freeze dry so I can eat it next week. That's when you put something in the fridge or freezer. That's sometimes even when you put in cans for next season. No, freeze drying and dehydration is saying, I'm going to put this up for long term. I'm going to stockpile. That's biblical, dealing with Joseph and stockpiling grains and stockpiling things to last over that 7-year famine. Well, we have to realize that we need to put up food, and you're starting to see more people buy dehydrators and freeze dryers. Now, I will link my freeze dryer, which is a Harvest Right freeze dryer, which I love. I'll link it below, but also I'll link the dehydrator we have. Dehydrators are not expensive. We talked about this in another video. If you can't do that, buy legacy food. We did a huge giveaway this last video that we gave a $300 freeze-dried kit away. We're gonna be doing that more. We want to encourage that. If you want to buy some stockpile, buy some freeze-dried or dehydrated food. But you're seeing the innovation maneuver towards that market to say, you know what? I can't always depend on the grid. It's fragile, and the government is wanting to put more on it. I don't have fuel, or I can't afford the fuel. What can we do to put up food for long term? You're starting to see that. Now the scary thing is you're starting to see big business jump into the same thing with dehydration and freeze dry. The more big business steps in, the more they're going to innovate ways to maybe cheapen the food or the quality of food go down. You don't believe me? Look at fast food. Look at the grocery. Your quality of food has went down because more people are having to mass produce it. So if we see more producing going into these big businesses, and these big businesses really are trying to be innovative, and they're starting to jump into the freeze-dried and dehydrated market, some of the quality food that they're going to be doing may not be the best quality food. So be careful, be wary of what you're buying. Make sure you're buying it from reputable companies. Now another encouraging thing, before we talk about a little bad news, but another encouraging thing is you're starting to see states, Oklahoma just passed it, but you're starting to see states where they're saying, you know what, we are not going to waste food at school cafeterias anymore. We're not going to waste food at restaurants because legally we can't give it to anybody else. You're starting to see some of that waste, some of that cafeteria cafeteria, that public school food, some of those things that we would typically throw away, you're starting to be able to see it go to animals, to dogs and cats, and to farms. That's a good thing. Not only should that have been just a non-event, something that should have already been happening, so we're not wasting food. That's stupid. 48 to 50 million people are needing food, and here we are in America throwing some away. That's crazy, especially in the government sector with public schools. But now they're making it where it's not illegal to be able to give that to maybe help a farmer out, and the farmer be willing to pay a little bit for it. That's okay, but we're not wasting the food. So we're seeing more animal shelters, more farms be able to feed food from waste, basically. That's a good thing. So more people are growing, more stockpiling is happening, more gardens are growing like this, and more people are not wasting. They're able to utilize that food different. For instance, when we have leftover food that we can't eat anymore, guess where it goes? It goes to these pigs. It goes to the new fish we have for aquaponics. It goes to the chickens. It goes to our compost, to the worms. You're not wasting, you're being innovative. Innovation is good. Bad and hard times sometimes make for stronger and more innovative times for men to step up and say, you know what, I'm gonna take care of my family. Men and women, it's time to do that. It's time to stockpile and start growing food again. Now, the scary things, big business moving into freeze-dried and dehydration, that's not the best play for me personally. I'd love to see it on the independent level. More entrepreneurs get into it, and also you do it yourself. Sustainability, guys, we need to depend on ourselves. But here's what's scary. There was a story that came out, and this is what scares me about the UN and this global agenda and all this information coming out that, you know, there's food shortages going across the world that will even cause problems in America. There's this company that is now producing more food and beverages, and they're saying that it is an innovative way of producing food, and they will try to develop more food in a quicker amount of time. Now, what does that mean? That sounds all good. It sounds like they're trying to help the world. Actually, what they're saying is they're going to bioengineer and modify this food more to make it grow quicker, to make it be there to provide for the food shortages that's going on. Now, this is the wrong approach to food shortage. If we provide more trash food for people just to give them sustenance, then what we're going to do, we're going to make them medically depend on government and all these chemicals and pharmaceuticals for the rest of their life, because that stuff is not actually good for us. It's not tested. So here we are, we're being a test subject for all this quote unquote innovative bioengineered food. So that is a scary thing. When we see food shortage, the answer is not, let's go do something about it in a lab. Let's be unnatural and find new ways to manipulate food. That is not the answer. The answer is you get your tail out here and start working the grounds. You have to get people moving out of the cities and becoming farmers again. It's not about the government saying, hey, we want to incentivize farming. It's not that. I don't want government intervention there. I just want people to realize it's important to grow food. So I think tough times and hard times and food crises, and guess what? Actually, commodities have went down a little bit, which would have normally affected your price at the grocery to go down. It hasn't though. So with the commodities and the food prices going down just a little bit on the farming side, the fertilizers went down just a little bit. Not where they should be, but they went down just a little bit. So guess what? It's not dropping the prices at the grocery. So the middleman is still making a crud load of money. It's still costing you a lot at the grocery. Food prices are not going down. So all of a sudden, when that food then spikes back up because of shortages and there's a weakened harvest, that means your groceries will go up even more. Prime example, think of your gas. This is an easy example. You were paying $1 to $2 just a few years ago. Then it went up to $4 and $5. Well, then it adjusted back down to $3. And you were like, whew, at least I'm saving money. So it went down, but it did not go down to where it was. So then next time it spikes, it may go up to $5 or $6 or $7 or $8. And then it may go down to $5. So then you'll feel good about it again. So you see that? That's what they're doing with the food too. Food prices skyrocket, eggs skyrocket, they go up 50%. Well, then they come back down 30%. So you're still paying 20% more, but you're so excited because you're not paying 50% anymore. That's what's gonna happen with food. Food shortages for America will look different because we will have food. It will either be junk food, bioengineered food, or food that costs a real chunk of money. a lot of your money, along with inflation and all that stuff going on with your dollars anyway. For the world, you're gonna see more innovation, quote unquote innovation, to feed the world, and it's gonna be even more trash food. Or either they're gonna take away the good foods from other people because there's not enough food to feed everyone when we're all living in cities. Now, do I believe in the agenda that that there's too many people on the earth? No. It just means people have to realize that easy times make for a lazy people. And when we get lazy, then we make hard times again. And then hard times have to make for true, strong leadership. And that's the part we're in. We're in that lull where we're seeing hard times, money's hard, food's hard, famine's coming, weather may be bad, wars are happening. So now you need to see strong leadership. You need to be more innovative. You need to see people who are willing to grow their food, raise their family in a sufficient way, and take initiative again. Think about the people coming to the farm today to tour our farm to learn how to grow. Think about the people coming tomorrow to the workshop. Those kind of things are happening all the time. So if you can't grow your own food, you need to support local farmers who do grow food. Work out something with them. Support a CSA. We've talked about this. Buy quality freeze-dried foods. Buy a freeze dryer. Buy a dehydrator. I know people say, oh, we can't do it. We're living paycheck to paycheck. You better find a way to do it because you got to feed yourself. If not, you'll be buying this really nice, innovative, bioengineered food. You may get that food, but it may cost your health. Or you may be the guinea pig to make it, see if it works or not. Who knows? Sufficiency is the answer. These gardens are the answer. Hard work is the answer. I didn't want to get up at 4 a.m. this morning and milk cows. Sometimes it'd be nice to stay in the bed. Yesterday I got flooded on it. It was raining hard when I was doing chores. But we realized that's how we have to feed our family. It takes sacrifice. So wrapping it up, food shortages are happening. We're seeing it across the world. We're seeing innovation. We're seeing great things like people going back to farms, people learning how to be innovative and growing their own food and being sustainable. They're learning how to stockpile. Dehydrators and freeze dryers are selling like crazy. The market for that is going up. But then, be careful. Big business and government stepping in too, so therefore you're gonna see more quote unquote innovation and food growing and being more productive. Those terms sound so good, but really look at what they're growing, really look at what's in this food, and really understand if food is meant to grow, if a cow is meant to grow for a year or a year and a half, if they can grow it in 6 months, something's either modified in the food or in the cow. If chickens are meant to grow for 6 months or 12 months and they can grow in 8 weeks, something's modified in the chicken. If lettuce can grow and it's hard to grow and corn is hard to grow and animals and insects like it, and all of a sudden they're growing a corn and a vegetable that's resistant to everything, it may not be the best quality food for you. So be careful when food shortage happens, food crises happens, food famines happen across the world, and even in America when our weakened supply goes down. The answer is innovation in the society, in the people, saying we're gonna be innovative and learn how to be better leaders in our home, better leaders in our community, and better people who can grow food. The answer is not more big business or more government or more agendas, because we're just going back in a revolving door that's not gonna help us. They'll stay that lazy, weak population. So be encouraged. People are waking up and seeing that they need to grow food, they need to stockpile. At the same time, people are still thinking that government's gonna step in and make it better, or we're gonna see better times. Better times may come, but it may be because you have to step up to the plate and not let somebody step up for you. Be like these people. Do a homestead tour. Find out how to grow gardens. Go back and watch how to grow potatoes, how to grow lettuce, how to grow corn. Some things are growing so easy. Medicine shortages. Find out how to grow herbs. Find out how to make tinctures. On our other channel, Misty's got a great tincture video coming out that's packed full of information. We have to learn. Leadership. That's what we need. We need wisdom and leadership. And that even comes down to our food crises and food shortages. Guys, thank you so much for watching. Our goal is to always teach how to do things. Teach you what you need and hopefully helping you on your path to food sustainability, prepping, and homesteading. We see the issues now. It's time to be leaders, not only in our home, not only in our community, but making sure we're doing all the right things. Hard times make great leaders, and we're going through that time. It's time for you to step up and be the leader. I hope you have a wonderful day. God bless you.